According to BB News, 10 people who took part in last month's protests across Nigeria have been charged with treason and other serious offenses at the Federal High Court in capital Abuja. All of the accused pleaded not guilty. The demonstrations, dubbed 10 days of rage, were called in response to extremely tough economic times many are living through. They turned violent in some places as protesters clashed with security forces, leaving at least 7 dead. According to police, though rights groups have put the death toll to 23. There were also nearly 700 arrests, as well as treason. The 10 who appeared in court on Monday were charged with the destruction of public property and injuring police officers. They were accused of working with a British citizen to destabilize Nigeria by calling on the military to take over the government from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the charge sheet. They allegedly shouted, "Tinubu must go, it is soldiers we want." Despite an appeal that the 10 accused should be bailed as they had already been held for a month, the court decided that they would remain in custody. Rights group Amnesty International earlier criticized the legal process and called the trial a sham. Last month, it called for investigation into the killing during the protest. Demonstrations in all major Nigerian cities began on 1st of August with people chanting slogans such as "We are hungry" and "End bad governance." The protests, organized through social media, were in part inspired by the success of demonstrators in Kenya who forced the government to scrap plans to increase taxes. In some parts of the country, curfews were imposed. The authorities said the protests had been hijacked by thugs who engaged in widespread looting and the destruction of property. Nigeria is experiencing its worst economic crisis in a generation. Annual inflation stands at more than 30%. Food prices have risen even faster. For example, in the commercial hub of Lagos, yams, a staple food, are almost 4 times more expensive than last year. So, it is only time will tell how Nigerian state is going to handle this whole thing, and if Nigerian state will present evidence of this British man who they say that wants to overthrow the government of Nigeria. And it is equally time will tell what will be the fate of these 10 people who are charged with treason and other people who are being held in custody.